Yo, what's going on? It's your main man, Rick the Dawn. Hey, I am so happy that you clicked on this video. I really appreciate it. This episode, or rather, this video, is about episode one of Married at First Sight, season 16. And I'm gonna go through every couple. And I wish you was here. I don't know why you're not here. You should have already subscribed. You should have already clicked all the little cool stuff. You should have already. You should be here right now with me, but you're not. And I don't know why you're not. I don't know. But anyway, this episode is brought to you by my podcast. That is the Really Hood podcast, and also reallyhood.com. Please check those things out and you know, help me out. Like click on 5 stars and likes and just the way that these things are run now, it's all about what people click. So if for a second I make you happy or happier than you were before you click this video, click on something that makes me look good. All right, so let's just get in, man. I finally watched episode one. I know I'm behind everybody. I understand that, but so I mean, look, I'm a busy guy. So I finally caught up. Episode two comes on tomorrow, and I'll be watching live. I'll try to get there live. I'll try to, but I'm finally caught up with the season, and thank goodness I'm not far behind. But I want to go through every couple, and I wish you were here with me so we can talk about it together. But I want to start with this couple. All right, let's start with this couple here. All right, and I'm not unprofessional. I actually wrote down their names. Okay, this is McKinley and Dominique. Mac and Dom. That's what I call them. All right, so we saw some very disturbing things in episode one. We saw that Dominique was on her worst behavior as she was flirting with a stripper. That is something that you would expect from the male, but in this case, we saw it from the female. Women are savages now. I'm just joking. But no, what do I think about it? I think it's okay. I think it's okay. I don't know what the rest of the season will look like. So for right now, I'm okay with it for one reason and one reason only. It's because she's still technically single. At that particular point in the episode, she's not married. And I think we ought to afford her some grace, right? Because that's her last chance of being that young. And this is the problem. Several times in this episode, I thought to myself, she's too young for this particular experience. And that sounds very hypercritical, considering that she is 25. It's not like she's 18 or 19, but we saw exactly why I'm saying this. She's 25. You saw her flirting with a stripper. That's something that a 25-year-old would do right before they get married, if you're getting married at 25. And I think back to myself at 25. I would like to think I was a lot more responsible than she appeared to be, because I got married at 25. My first marriage, which ended, right? My first marriage ended. So 25, not a good age to get married. But no, on a serious note, I remember being 25 and being or feeling like I'm serious, or was serious. And ironically, though, I still can't condone this particular behavior. At 25, I did get married. I was very serious. If you were to put me in a strip club, which I would have never been anyway, but if you were to place me in a strip club, which is really is that not irresponsible of Married at First Sight to place these women and these men and these hypersexual environments? For me, it is kind of irresponsible. And then we point the finger and criticize once they do the obvious, right? So I don't know how I feel about Married at First Sight doing that, especially considering that one of the people that's overseeing the season is a pastor. What does that tell you? But anyway, I don't see myself at 25 as young as I was at that particular time. I'm 36 now. I don't see myself at that time flirting with a stripper. I don't know. I don't know if I would do that. If I know I'm getting married, if I know I'm being filmed for television, I'm not sure. I found it pretty ironic that they did not show a lot of footage of Mac. I thought that was a little unfair. Maybe he was just so boring. Like they said, he's an introvert. He doesn't talk much. So perhaps that's why he didn't get a lot of it wasn't a lot of reasons to film him. But teach his own. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I'm on record as saying I think that Mac is a much more terrible person than he appears to be. Or I think that right now he's putting on his best posture, his best behavior. I'm on record So when everybody finds out, because right now you're ready to jump down and get upset with me and dislike the video and all that kind of stuff because I said that Mac is a bad person. I know you're ready to do that. So what? I do think that Mac is I think Mac is much worse than he appears to be. I do. I know people like Mac. Mac, he comes across as very quiet, very suave. But let me tell you something. Mac is a very crazy person. Mac reminds me of myself. That's how I know. You might not know because Mac doesn't remind you of you. Mac reminds me of me. So I understand what kind of person Mac is, or at least I think I know. Anyway, I think that relationship is, I don't know. I think I initially said that they're going to be divorced, and I still think that. But let's go on to the next couple. All right, this couple right here. This is Christopher and Nicole. Where do I start with this couple? I'm gonna just tell you right now. This couple is either going to be a amazing story or they are going to be absolutely terrible. I can't tell you which one it is right now. I initially said that this couple would divorce, and that's mainly because Chris is such a nice guy, and nice guys always finish last. Don't forget that. Or when you consider the other side of the spectrum, when you look at Nicole, Nicole is just never relaxed. She's always on 6,000. Okay, not 100, not 100, 6,000. Always, always. Okay, and I thought that that particular combination would not fare well. And nothing in episode one has really changed the way that I feel about that particular opinion, except this small piece of something. Christopher seems to be a little more nicer than I initially thought. I already knew he was nice, but he's coming across as even more of a nice person than I initially believed. He's not fake. He's not a fake nice person. I thought that he was putting on for the cameras, but this episode showed me that no, he's actually a nice guy. And he's the guy that every woman dreams of. And I don't know if he has it in the looks department for everybody. I'm not sure he has all the machismo that every woman might, desire. But I'll tell you one thing. Christopher is the real deal. Christopher is who McKinley pretends to be. McKinley pretends to be the quiet guy who's a nice guy. No, no, no. He's me. Terrible. Okay, but Christopher is the real deal. Christopher would be what he appears to be, even when the cameras stop rolling. Now, when I look at Nicole, I initially pegged her as someone who would actually be turned off by Christopher, and this is why I predicted they would actually divorce at the end of the season. But I'm starting to think differently, and that's because Nicole seems to be the female version of Christopher. However, I think Nicole is putting on a slight front. I think Nicole, that Italian stallion, or that Italian, you know what I mean, right? If you ever met Italians, they're very aggressive and they're very confident. And in this particular case, Nicole seems to be more reserved. I think that that's going to get tossed out the window the minute is uncool. The minute it's uncool. I think that Christopher and Nicole won't work well long term. I think they'll have a great burst in the beginning, and after that, history. All right, I still believe that. All right, the next couple is Eris and Jasmine. All right, this is the company. I said the company. My brain is like literally always focused on like my businesses. So even when I'm doing stuff like this, my brain is like, hey, you should be doing something with your companies. Sorry. So anyway, Eris and Jasmine. This is the couple that I believed would be successful in this particular experience. And I still believe that this couple is made for each other. And finally, Pastor Cal and Dr. Pepper got it correct. I was very happy to see episode 0, episode 99. I'm not sure what they call it. I was happy to see that because I was able to really deep dive into what their process is when it comes to picking these couples. I was finally able to see that. And they do a terrible job. I knew they did a terrible job, but now I know they do a terrible job because hey, she likes red and his favorite color is red as well. They're a perfect couple. Like that's what that's what they do. And that's why they get so many bad situations. However, in this case, they did not get it wrong. I believe Eris and Jasmine are perfect for one another, and nothing in this episode changed that. I knew that Eris was a Playboy. And I'm gonna be honest with you. Can I just be honest with you? I'm not buying the Playboy thing from Eris. He's trying to make me believe he's this player. He had, sexual relations 2 weeks ago. Can I just? I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it unless the women in Nashville are extremely like desperate, and Eris or guys like Eris is like the top of the food chain. I'm just not buying it. I'm not. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. And I think Jasmine is not buying it either, even though she hasn't met him as of this episode 1. I still don't think she's buying it right now. I think Jasmine's going to be able to pull all that fake machismo out, look at who the real person is, and break him down to the molecule. I think Nicole. I'm sorry. I think Jasmine is going to absolutely expose him and get into his heart and penetrate that manly heart. As a man, I understand what men feel and think, and I think Jasmine has what it takes to penetrate Eris. And nothing has changed about my opinion of that couple. I still think they make it through the entire season. The next couple is Clint and Gina. Oof. Listen, there's a lot of talk online about this couple. A lot of people are not happy with Clint. They think Clint is like this little bozo. I like Clint, and I don't know. He just taps into a part of who I am as a person. I'm that person who is pretty spontaneous, and I can relate to Clint. A lot of people are dinging him for the fact that he just appears to be someone who goes with the flow and, dare I say, a little clueless. When it comes to Gina, she did do a little bit to make me feel a little better about her. Initially, I was concerned about Gina just based off of episode 0. I was like, oh my gosh, we got another female who's a business owner, and as such, she feels like she's a man, right? That's the initial thing I got from, that's the first thing I got from her. But Gina has shown me more of her personality, and dare I say, I'm actually starting to like her more and more and more. We'll see how things go. Now, I said that this couple would be divorced by the time the season concludes, and nothing has changed. There's no way, and it confuses me. And I understand the rationale of the Pastor Cal and Dr. Pepper. I understand the rationale. He's an adventurer and she's a business owner who's very successful. They're both successful. So let's put them together. I understand that. But that's not how relationships work. It's not that simple. If it was that simple, we would have a 90% marriage completion or success rate. There's a reason we don't, because it's not that simple. It's so many dynamic pieces that go into maintaining a proper relationship. And those people who are married understand exactly what I'm saying, right? It's so much more than that. It's so much more than having things in common. And I think in this particular case, they got it wrong. Look, Clint and Gina have very little in common. Outside of success, I don't see anything else. And I really mean that. I feel like Gina and Clint will be forced to make things work and look good on camera. But once the camera shut off, Gina and Clint are going to go to their separate corners because they have nothing in common, nothing, no common ground. Even their successes are different types of successes. Gina is a business success. And I would argue that Clint is a generational success. He's successful purely due to his lineage. And, he talked about his mom, his dad being sailors. Like, that had nothing to do with what Clint had put together. Whereas Gina, being a woman in the business industry, she had to fight for that particular position. So I just don't see any correlation there. And I think they forced these two people together. And it's really sad. I don't see this couple working at all. All right. The next couple, Shaquille and Kirsten. Now, they focused a lot on this couple, and I know why. Because, look, at the end of the day, this is still television. You need ratings, and Kirsten is absolutely stunning, all right? And, the more screen time you give Kirsten, more than likely, the more male viewers you're going to have, right? The females are already there because it's marriage, it's love, it's wedding dresses. The women are already there. But you want the guys to tune in. Well, Kirsten's how you do that. So she had a lot of screen time this time, but I feel like, and this might be a little on the wrong side of things, but the more I saw of Kirsten, the less I thought of Kirsten. And let me break that down. What's up? Diva 313 is in the building. What's going on? Hey. I didn't see you live, Diva. I actually am like a week behind everybody. I'm gonna watch it on a rewatch. So yeah, that means you're gonna be right with me, Diva. By the way, Diva313 is a good friend of mine. If you're like looking over at the chat section, me and her kick it from time to time. You see the Detroit hat, she's from 313. That's Detroit as well. But and you got to catch up, Diva 313. And I think a new episode comes on tomorrow. And I'm going to try my best to watch it live, Diva, and then jump on here right after the episode concludes and kind of do what we do for Survivor and Big Brother. But yeah, I'm gonna be real with you. The more that Kirsten talked, the less that I found her appealing. You know, a lot of women say this. You know, he was very handsome until he opened his mouth. And I felt like that with Kirsten, and I hope she's not watching this. I don't think she's watching, so there's no way. It's impossible, right? So she's very gorgeous. She's very pretty. But the more she talks, the more superficial she comes across. And I was just like, Kirsten, just stop talking, please. Please. Because you're proving me right. In the first episode, or rather the episode 0, I said that she comes across as the modern social media female. And I hate those, man. It's just like, it's all about materialistic, fake beauty. You know, it's makeup, weave, and fake personality. Like, who are you really? Right? That's what I felt like. And it just threw me off the more I heard her talk. And it doesn't do me, and it didn't get better for me when I saw Shaquille. Shaquille is just like, Shaquille, stop talking. Shaquille, don't say anymore. Shaquille, stop talking. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, Shaquille is just like, oh my god, like, oh my gosh. I feel like people are going to agree with me, and I feel like those who don't are going to be very upset with me because I'm saying what a lot of people think, but just won't say. Shaquille is like cringe for me. He's very cringe for me. Okay, I watched Shaquille on the screen. I'm just like, he has, like, does he live in a bubble? Like, he has very low self awareness. I'm gonna be honest with you. I initially said that this couple would stay married. I don't know if I don't think that's possible. I don't think it's possible for those two to stay married. Um, Now it's, who knows? I don't know what's going to happen. You know, they did leave off episode 0 with episode 1 with a cliffhanger, and I think they're doing that for ratings and stuff like that. But you saw what happened. You saw what happened, right? You saw that Kirsten did not let Shaquille kiss her in the mouth, right? So she's already having reservations. And if Kirsten has the same reaction as I have when I listen to Shaquille talk, there's no way this is gonna work. Because every time Shaquille opens his mouth, I'm like, yo, what the like what's going on? And Diva 313 agrees. Diva 313 says them as a couple is a red flag. Look, Diva, I'm gonna go a little further. I think they are what's brighter than red? Yo, this couple is yeah, man, I don't know. Very good looking couple when you take a photo of them, but outside of like a social media post where you can like I think when it gets into the battlefield, when it gets into the nitty gritty, because that's what marriage is. A lot of times, marriage is not about what you see in a photo or what you think you know about that particular couple. It's those conversations that happen on a Tuesday. It's those conversations that happen on a Thursday that really define a marriage. It has nothing to do with what you see on the outside. Every marriage in the United States of America, every marriage on the earth is going through something. Every single one. There's not a marriage on this planet right now that's perfect. Not one. Not one. Because marriage is really about finding. What is marriage about? Marriage is not about looking pretty for a social media post. Marriage is about understanding that there's no such thing as the perfect person for you, and finding someone who is as close as perfect as possible and loving them for them. That's what marriage is. And when I look at Kirsten, or I should say when I listen to Kirsten, she doesn't seem like somebody who understands that. She seems to be somebody who's like, I want Mr. Perfect and he has to be Mr. Perfect. And then, I'll go even further than that. Shaquille seems to be exactly the same way. You heard, I want to say that it might have been Christopher who said he'd be happy with a 7 out of 7. That's the kind of thing you want to hear from somebody who's getting married. They don't expect perfection. They expect somebody who is pretty close or pretty good, and they'll figure out the rest. That's what you expect to hear from somebody who wants to be a wife or a husband. But when you hear Shaquille say no, she got to be a 10 out of 10, like, bro, are you serious? Do you think like is that and listen, let me just interject in my own speech here. I understand the concept of expecting perfection and wanting the best for yourself. He said he prayed for this, praying to God for a 10 out of 10 and saying, hey, I'm gonna lean on what I believe God is gonna give me. I understand all of that, but I also know there's a such thing called reality. All right. Shaquille should not expect a 10 out of 10 if he's not a 10 out of 10. And maybe he thinks he is. I don't know. And everybody might think differently of Shaquille as they watch him and see him. But man, my wife looked at Shaquille one time and was like, nah. So my point is, I'm not sure that this couple's going to work out. I did say married. I'm not sure if that's going to happen. Diva 313 says she signed up to marry a stranger and didn't kiss him at the altar. Hey, Diva 313, help me out with this. Well, no, I think I know the answer already. I just want to make sure that I'm not missing anything. As far as I understand, we are on episode 1 and episode 2 has not aired. I looked online. It says episode 2 airs at what? I forget what time, but I know it airs tomorrow. I feel like everyone knows more than me. And it could be because people are looking at forums and they're looking online, they're looking at spoilers. I heard people talking about Clint and Gina. I'm like, how do you know about Clint and Gina? We're only on episode 1. Like, help me understand. I'm not going to look at any spoilers because I want to make sure I'm having fun with this particular season. So that's it. But episode 2 does air tomorrow. And what time does it air? I got to look at my phone. This is so unprofessional. This is why I'm not a professional, because I should know all the stuff off the top. I'm going to look and I'm going to figure it out. But either way, I'm going to try to get on here tomorrow right after episode 2 ends. But here's my predictions. I want to go ahead and do this before I conclude. I think McKinley and Dominique, McKinley and Dominique, goodness gracious. I think they're going to have sparks in the beginning. Okay. Sparks in the beginning. But I think in the honeymoon, you're going to start to see Dominique start to spaz out because she comes across to me as somebody who does that type of thing. She's young. If everything that goes her way, she still might have a fit like a kid. Christopher and Nicole, I think they're going to love each other. And the question is, how long will it last? Because let me tell you something, Nicole is always on 600. Christopher is always on 2. So how is this going to work? I think that they're the most interesting couple. I think they're the most interesting couple. I initially said that they would divorce, but I am actually more intrigued now than I was before. All right. And then looking at Eris and Jasmine, this couple is 100% staying together. I have no doubt about it. I have no doubt about it. Okay. And then Clint and Gina, we can just throw this out right now. I don't care what they do at the altar. There is 0.0000000 chance that this couple is going to make it. It's just not possible. Okay. You got Clint. Clint is not a husband. He's just not. Okay. He's an adventurer. And this is just his latest adventure. Gina actually would be a good wife for the right person, but it ain't Clint. Terrible job on the part of the experts. Terrible job. All right. And then you got Shaquille and Kirsten. I think Kirsten's going to play. She's going to do exactly what I expect. And don't take this the wrong way, but she's going to be the female that's hard to get for her husband. And that's the worst type of wife. I'm sorry. It just is. All right. A wife that's in a relationship that's hard to get for her husband is not the worst type of wife. Let's just clarify. It's not the word, but it's very difficult. It's very difficult. And I know because I've talked to a lot of husbands. And when a wife is very hard to talk to, hard to be with, it's very difficult for her husband. And I think she's going to be that. And it's primarily because she doesn't have a lot of experience being a wife. And it won't do any favors to this relationship that Shaquille is so cringe. He's so cringe. Okay. I need to know right now, is there anybody who made it this far in the video that finds Shaquille to be a perfect husband? And if so, can you tell me why? Because I'm not a woman, I can't understand. I'm looking at Shaquille through the lens of a brother, through the lens of a friend. I'm like, bro, you ain't gonna. I don't know how you gonna. Ain't nobody gonna want to. So I need somebody who finds Shaquille to be attractive, somebody who finds Shaquille to be a good, a good spouse. Help me figure out what his allure is. Help me figure out what his niche is. I just can't see it. Because every time I hear him talk, I'm like, hey, mute the TV till he get off the screen. Every single time, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. All right. Anyway, Diva 313 says I know Jasmine in real life. Wait a minute. Hold up. Wait a minute. You know Jasmine in real life? Jasmine is oh, okay. You know Jasmine in real life. Okay. And she's a great woman with a loving family. All right. Let me know how you know Jasmine in real life, Diva313. Because I know somebody that reminds me of Jasmine. And I wanted to ask her. Her name is Erica. I want to say, Erica, do you know anybody in Tennessee? Because you look like y'all could be cousins and y'all got the same kind of personality. That's how I can kind of get a feel for Jasmine. That's how I get a feel for her. I'm like, Jasmine's a good person because I know somebody who reminds me of Jasmine. That's Erica. But anyway, Jasmine, without question, is the perfect wife. And I say that because she's busy. She works with all types of people. You saw her working with different ethnicities. She has multiple jobs. She's a beauty queen. She worked. She's family oriented. And this is how you know if a person is a decent person on these Married at First Sight shows. It's how their family reacts to them getting married. You notice how when Jasmine broke the news to her family that she's getting married, no one was like paranoid. Like, you're making the wrong decision. Nobody did that. Everybody's like, you deserve this. You deserve it. You're a good woman. That's because she is. Okay. And when Eris did it, what happened? Everybody's like, yo, you're not ready for this. No, run. They're trying to tell us something. This person's not a good person. And I think the only reason that Jasmine and Eris will make it is because Jasmine is such a dope person. I think without Jasmine, Eris, he's done. That's why he's been single for so long. The man already has sexual relations one day before he found out he's getting married. He's still in the wrong mindset. That's not a husband's mindset. Are you kidding me? So anyway, D1313 says one of my besties is her cousin, so I have known her for years. Wow. Okay. All right. Respect. I can say, all right, good. All right. Well, I'm gonna just put it out there. I think Jasmine's pretty dope. I'm gonna say it right now. I think she's pretty dope. And the only person that can ruin this situation is Eris. That's the only person. Okay. But anyway, I'm gonna stop here because I'm getting a little long-winded, and I'm not here to do that. I just want to get in, hit my points, and get about. So I'm gonna say this right here. I said what I said. I don't take nothing back. I can't take nothing back because that's not how I do things on my channel. But I'm gonna watch tomorrow, and I'm gonna come back on here and give my viewpoint based on what I see in episode 2. I hope you're here with me, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace. All right, D1313, love you. Peace. Stay safe out there.